Start recording. And welcome to the company of the Whiskey Drinking Bear, the Threats from Mirkwood podcast. I am your DM. It's GM still in this game. It switches every game. Garrett Crow. You can call me Barefoot Tour Guide. We are doing our quarantine episode here, where we're trying to, as Mary said earlier, the threat of being ruled by the Dark Lord doesn't seem so bad now with this. So let's introduce everybody. Let's start with Mary.
Hi, I play Lorith the Ranger. Lorith, daughter of Círdan. And if you really want to see a lot of petitions to sign and stuff about the Pew Foundation, you can follow me on Twitter at AgingOphelia at Twitter.
Which reminds me, I can be followed at GarrettCrow1, 2 R's, 2 T's, Crow with an E. George.
Hello, everyone. This is George, and I'm playing Thror, the Prince of Erebor. So I'm your happy-go-lucky dwarf who's always ready with his mattock. So we'll be endeavoring into new worlds today. So I do not need to be followed, so I will I'm playing social segregation.
Excellent. And Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike playing Elebrimborn, the elven scholar of Mirkwood. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Padme's Lover. And everybody knows that Elebrimborn means virility. He's the master of poetry. Everybody wants him. He's so sexy, it's a sin. If you want a special tryst, he's the elf you can't resist.
Hooray! Woo! Hello, searching to bring Elebrimborn's image onto the screen. There we go. Okay. So, those of you who've been watching us for a long time know we have another player, Steve. Steve's going to be returning to the game very soon. He just couldn't make it today because today is his birthday, so he's having forced family fun.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Steve.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Excellent. So, who wants to recap of where we were?
George does.
Man, I've forgotten. Who's got the better memory?
Not me.
I have the dog yelling in the background.
I don't know, do we have to kill Gorlanc in his throne room, or is that a couple things ago?
You did not kill Gorlanc in his throne room. You found in his throne room, waiting for you, a Balrog, and decided fighting the Balrog was not for you. So you
and then ran away.
Got out of the way of the Balrog after. Oh no, you did do some.
No, I decided it was not for us. He decided it was for us, and he took him down, I believe, or was it George?
George,
and the Balrog.
I think Elebrimborn went at him, and then he died.
We all got some hits in.
Okay, so you took out the Balrog. So then you had a little bit of a fellowship phase where you were staying around Bree. And then you had a visit from an elf who told you that Gorlanc had been chased not too far from Bree, or in the Bree Saddle area. And you detected that there was a hobbit family that was acting weird, and their orchard was not performing as well as it should and looked kind of creepy. So you decided to infiltrate the house, go through, fight your way through Gorlanc's minions, and take out Gorlanc, and manage to find the cure that helped the Hobbit girl that Gorlanc had poisoned as a way of ensuring that nobody would mess with him. So the Hobbit family is completely happy with you and is throwing a great party in your honor.
Uh-oh.
The Undertree house is fully decorated with streamers and poppers, fireworks for the kids. A band from Hobbiton starts playing at 7 a.m. sharp. Already there's a line of guests lined up in front of the main gate. As they're greeted by Alphonsus at the gate, he graciously gives a gift to each visitor. And they wander about the large property, not straying too far from the side of the house, except the newlyweds, who sneak away to steal some kisses. All the hobbits stay wary of the big tree on top of the Smeal, which is still blackened from the evil Gorlanc's sorcery. All its fruit has fallen rotten beneath its boughs, which are shedding their darkened leaves much faster than the turning leaves throughout the orchard. You are cornered by a hobbit who goes, "Greetings, my name is Big Bob the Swineherd, and I hear that you are the ones that are responsible for the defeat of Gorlanc. Is that true?"
Why, yes, Big Bob. We are the people that, but it was through the cooperation of many folks that we were able to defeat this terrible person.
Well, did you receive any reward from the Undertrees?
Their gratitude is enough, and celebrating in friendship is plenty for us. Just to know that their daughter is doing better is really a gift to me and my heart.
Come, elf, don't be coy. They're well-to-do. They could afford to give you a handsome reward of much treasure. And I want you to know that if you receive some of that treasure, then I am entitled to a percentage of that. I noticed that the tree was acting weird and sent a letter to the Reeve in Bree asking him to check it out, which led toward you being aware of this and defeating him. So I am just as much a part of your team in taking down Gorlanc as anybody else. Aha!
Well, I wish.
Well, you are, and I grab his hand and guffaw with him and slap him on the back and go, "You are part of the company of the Whisking Drinking Bear now, Big Bob, and you shall share the treasure that we have gained, which is being a guest at this party. Enjoy yourself."
Make an awareness check, everybody. CN 14.
$21 with a Tengu.
Great success.
I a Sauron with a Sauron.
Alright, you are having drinks with Big Bob and not noticing anything. Thror, you take a step back and look Big Bob up and notice that he has sticking out of his pocket the letter that he claims that he mailed to the Reeve of Bree. He never got around to mailing it.
I poke my compadres and eye towards the letter, since they may have better skills than I at retrieving such an item.
I walk up to Bob and I say, and I put my arm around him and I say, "Well, if you're going to be a member of our team, you're going to have to learn the ropes then. I only wish you'd been there recently when we had to fight a Balrog. That was not fun. Well, it was a little fun, but it was quite dangerous.
I fought off many dogs that have threatened my property."
No, not dog. Balrog.
Is that a type of dog?
No, it's a giant fire demon who uses a scourge that the end of it is, about as big as you.
He becomes noticeably paler.
But if you want to venture with us and claim your rewards, I'm sure that you'll be able to take up the sword when needed in this case, in a similar case.
Yes, I'll gladly pick up the sword. I just need someone to provide me with a sword. I have a pitchfork.
Well, perhaps you can learn to use your pitchfork on the Urukai.
The what? Is that a cat?
No, they're great, strong. Regular orcs and goblins are quite, they're small and they bend low, but the Urukai are like a strong warrior man, except bigger and bolder. The last one I faced, his shoulders were like this, and they have long fangs, about this long, and they wear spikes around their wrists so that they can knock their enemies askew in battle.
Surely you're exaggerating. There hasn't been orcs in this area in over 900 years.
But we don't stay in this area. If you want to venture with us, you'll have to leave the area and...
Leave the Shire?
Well, yes. Of course, there are some things that come towards the borders that bear fighting, For instance, every now and then you might see a warg.
A what?
A warg. It's a wolf. It's like a regular wolf, except that it can speak and scent you from 50 miles away, and they generally stand about as high as a pony or a little bigger. Their shoulders are massive.
They're like big dogs. My pitchfork can handle that.
Well, Ella Brimborn, George. What was the front? Oh, sorry. Oh God. Thrar. Ella Brimborn. Thrar. What was the tooth size of the fangs of the last warg? How big was the paw of the last warg we fought?
Oh, a little wider than my chest and shield beside.
Sorry.
We're just caught up in the moment thinking about that warg.
Lord Sale went down the wrong throat.
Yeah, and then Big Bob, you know about the marsh dwellers, right? Being a hobbit.
Yeah.
The marsh dwellers, the hobbit mothers say...
There's a clan of hobbits. They're known for harvesting mushrooms.
Yeah, the marsh dwellers, the hobbit mothers say, are thought to be missed to keep children at bay, but they take small children who wander astray to their swamp treasure cave by night and day. They are clumsy and slow and clammy of flesh, and plump hobbit children are their favorite dish, be it will-o-wisp or their eyes of fell light. Wise hobbit children run home at first sight, for they shamble so slow they will never be beat. But if you do, with sharp claws, they will eat. We fought a bunch of those. That was like our first. That was our first initiation into things.
Oh.
Your mother must have told you about the marsh dwellers, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Those to make sure that I went to bed on time and stayed in bed.
Well, they really do exist, and they work in foul sorcery and black magic. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
I'll take a marsh dweller. I'll take a squad of marsh dwellers over one barrow white any day. And you know about the barrow whites; they're not that far. I mean, the first one I faced was when I was 12. Oh, his touch froze my bones. Well, I was out with with some family on a journey, and I got separated from them, and then the fog descended and the clouds came around me and everything grew dark, and I thought I saw light ahead of me, and I went towards it. I heard a voice that sounded like a voice I knew calling me, and I went towards it, and then I felt a touch that froze my bones, and I go behind from the other way, and I go like this.
Ah! Big Bob jumps.
and Roar, how many stone trolls have we fought at this point?
Oh, well, trolls. I can't even.
Yeah.
I can't even count how many giant trolls we've had to fight. Cave trolls.
Right, and you remember that old rhyme of lore, the stone troll, too, don't you, Bob? The stone troll has no special appeal, so run away or become his next meal. His blood and heart are pitch of black. Among his teeth your bones will crack. Stupid, ugly, and kills for pleasure. In dark caves he hoards his treasure. Strong and tall as the Ent, but from the earth Morgoth had sent. So when exposed to light of sun, return to stone from which he comes. So, unfortunately, we have to travel a lot by night, don't we, Lorith?
Yeah, we have to travel during trolls awake time a lot. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, if you catch them, if you see them in the day, it's nothing because they're stone. But if they come on you at night, it's dangerous.
But they respect
and their mating season is so short that they're always after us.
No, you misunderstand. When a troll gets you and you can't take him down, you are the midnight snack.
Oh.
Well, look, and I pull up my sleeve and I show him a scar that I got that's that big from a troll. That was from a troll's fingernail when he grabbed me.
Oh, here's Alphonsus. You talk to him. I'm going to go over there. And he goes over and starts talking to other people about how he saved the day by sending the letter. Alphonsus says, it is time for you to receive your gifts for all the good deeds that you have done for taking care of my family and saving my daughter Blossom. Here is a bottle of homemade cider for each of you. Thror, I know that you have a child now, so here is what my wife made, a doll of a hobbit girl, and the doll looks remarkably like Blossom.
Aww.
She stayed up all night making this.
She's very talented. I'm
Very nice.
Perhaps she would want to sometime make some to be sold at Dale. We might come back this way and pick up a load for her to have sold in the toy shop at Dale. It's one of the wonders of the world now. Again.
I thought it was a wonders because of the dwarf magic toys.
Well, there's all kinds of toys sold in the market at Dale. They don't often see dolls made to look like hobbits, and it would remind people that you are indeed not just a myth yourselves.
Then I definitely will talk to my wife about this.
Yes, consider. I mean, we might, if she would make a few, with a pub theme, we could sell them in our pub in.
Oh, you own a pub?
Yeah, don't you remember, you old sly devil? You trying to get out of that contract with me? You told me, Alphonse, that you were going to send your surplus cider to the whiskey drinking bear, the world, the Middle Earth pub of Sunsteed.
Oh, I just
it must, with all the tragedy, must have slipped your mind.
It is with all that's getting ready with the party. It's completely slipped my mind.
Oh, you're definitely going to be part of the world tour. You know, everyone's going to have a stone mug of your cider so they can get the pin that they've drank every drink in our pub.
Well, I look forward to that. If you could bring one of the sample pins back here, I'd appreciate that.
I'm sure we could.
Sounds good. We'll have to start working on that.
You notice that the band stops playing for a second as Blossom goes over to the band leader and makes a recommendation. And the band leader says, "This next song is a request from Little Blossom here. Will Ella Brimborn please come forward?
Uh-oh.
All right, so Ella Brimworm comes forward.
This is Blossom's favorite, the Stinky Squirrel Song. The song is filled with making faces and doing movements resembling a stuck-up squirrel. To dance well with Blossom, you need to make a riddle, target number 16 roll to figure out the expected movements.
Okay.
Ooh, riddle.
Stinky squirrel song. I rolled a eye of Sauron. That's 2 in a row. That's not very good.
Oh my goodness, you are making a complete fool of yourself out on the dance floor.
Which I'm okay with.
Blossom leads all the children in pointing at you and saying, "He's a stinky squirrel. He's a stinky squirrel."
So I hold my nose and I try to put my beautiful elven blonde hair in a ponytail so it looks like a squirrel tail, and I like reach it, like I hold my nose and I like put my hair up like a squirrel and start making chittering noises.
The children surround.
And I try to go after all the kids, like to scare them, like I'm gonna grab them and make them stinky, like I'm gonna touch them and make them stink.
I'm gonna try to, when I see him fumbling, I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna try and do it.
Okay.
10. Tengu. I got 17 with the Tengu.
All right. You figured out the motions. Now the kids are still a little bit off the dance floor as you're kind of getting up, and the kids are kind of.
I'm just
noticing.
doing it from. Yeah, I'm not going up in front, but I'm kind of doing it from the sidelines.
Right. The kids are surrounding Ella Brimborn and painting a squirrel nose and whiskers on his face. Make a athletics check to see if you can keep up with the dance as the temple picks up in the second half of the song.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Okay.
TN 16 athletics.
Okay. Where's my roller?
Or to see if you completely trip over your feet and fall.
This is why I have 3 boxes in athletics. It's for moments like this. Just short. Let me see. So that's 7 and 7. 14.
14. You fall behind and kind of step back away from the dance floor as you realize you're not able to keep up with it as much as fast as these hobbits are.
Yeah.
And as you do so, a hobbit tugs at your sleeve.
May I help you?
Hi, I'm Juniper Proudfeet. I think you know a ranger by the name of Círdan.
Yes, I do. And how do you know him?
He tells me stories of running through the woods with his daughter and teaching her all about the plants and animals. He's run hands in hand with me through the woods and has started teaching me about the plants and the animals.
Really?
Yeah, when he comes through here. I have a journal where I've written down notes of what he's taught me. And she shows you the journal, and there are also pictures of Círdan that she's drawn. And they are quite good. And they show him looking ponderous and wise.
Well, that's a very good likeness of Círdan. And did he ever tell you who his daughter was?
Yes. But Lorith. And that's why I called you over. I was seeing if you are Círdan's daughter.
Yes, I am. But let's keep it a secret.
I know all the bad things you did as a kid.
Well, I'm sure many of them will be published in my lifetime to my great opprobrium.
She points at her journal.
That's a big word. Yeah.
Oh, she was a naughty girl. I overheard.
Well, maybe you could teach me some of what he taught you.
Okay. She teaches you a little bit about the various plants that are in the garden and how medicinal remedies can be made out of combining some of them.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything I need to correct her on or alter slightly or add to a little bit? Is there anything that I can...
Not really. She's pretty good with it, at least as good as you were when you were about 7.
Well, you seem to be learning very well. If you keep this up, I think you could be a great healer in your village. And that is a very important person to be. Everybody needs healing sometimes. And what's your name?
My name is Juniper.
Juniper.
Juniper Proudfeet.
Juniper. Yes, well, the Proudfeet are a very big family, aren't they?
Yes, we are.
Well,
lots of need for healing with a family that big.
Yes, and what can you tell me about Juniper?
And she tells you a bit about Juniper. And she flips through her journal to make sure she says everything that she's supposed to say from her notes from Kirdan.
Well, maybe we should go and get a glass of juice.
Okay, I'd like that, Lorith.
Okay, let me do that.
Thror, what are you doing during the party?
So I still noticed that letter was still in I guess Big Bob's pocket.
Yes, you do.
I would like to, while the dancing was going on, I would have tried to see if I couldn't slip my hand to pocket what the letter said.
Sure. Burglary specialty will get you an automatic success, or you can do a stealth.
I will do a stealth.
TN 16.
16.
Yeah, he got a 14. He's been drinking.
And that is exactly a 14.
You managed to slip the letter from him while he's doing the sneaky squirrel dance.
Okay.
With a mug of ale in each hand.
I will peruse the letter to see what information it had in it.
Reeve of Bree. My name is Big Bob, and the swineherd, and I have reason to believe that something is going on at the under tree family estate. Their main tree on the hill is looking sickly and ill, which is something that Alphonse would never allow. Please send yourself or some of your deputies around to make sure that all is well in this proud family's smeal. Sincerely, Big Bob the swineherd.
All right, very good. Then I will make my way back over near him and then act as though the letter fell out of his pocket and hand back the letter to him and say, "Oh, looks like you dropped this, Big Bob."
He blushes and grabs it and make sure that it's tightly strapped into his belt.
Very good. Then I wander around the crowd and mingle, and I ask if they've heard of any stories about Gorlanc and whether they've run across his path in any way.
No, we haven't. Only what we've heard from Alphonsus here about what he did to their family. Horrible, holding them all hostage like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard a lot of things about this really big troll that's supposedly leading all the other trolls together. And we're worried that they're going to start leaving the Troshaws and coming out into Breeland. What do you think about that?
Yes, the trolls have been moving around the lands quite a bit, and our group has helped to try to keep them at bay at times. But yeah, they are. It is something that we need to keep an eye out on.
You can overhear that.
I say, "Hang on, Juniper," and I go up to the party where they're saying, and I say, "Mormeg."
Yes, that's the name.
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Reginald Puttyfoot.
Mr. Puttyfoot? I have a recommendation for you about this issue.
Yes?
Keep a close guard on your children. They should be allowed, of course, as children are, to play outside and enjoy the air and the day. But if I were you, if I were any of the parents in this area, I would not leave them unsupervised.
Wow. You know how to bring a party down fast.
Well,
Meanwhile, Ella Brimborn is singing the Stinky Squirrel song. I don't want to be a squirrel. I don't want to be a nut. That's why I soak in the bathing hut. I don't want to stink like a flea-bitten squirrel. I wash my hands like a good hobbit boy and girl.
Yay!
You know what? I'm good.
And you couldn't dance to that? That's
Before Juniper goes off to go to bed.
I have performance anxiety. You guys know that. That's why I always get tied up.
Oh, of course. That's
Oh, was there a pretty hobbit close by? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know my awareness. I didn't do a good awareness check either.
I'm gonna give
There is a very pretty hobbit named Begonia Hayward.
Ooh. That's dangerous.
I'll introduce Begonia to Ella Brimborn.
Begonia, what's her last name?
Hayward. Hayward.
Okay. Hello, Begonia.
Hello, Ella Brimborn.
You know my name?
Everybody here knows your name. Everybody
wow.
knows what you did for the Undertree family.
Oh, that was nothing.
There's stories going around that you killed a giant demon?
No, that the story's going the wrong direction. That's how things go. The giant demon killed me. The person you want to talk to is Thror and Lorith. They killed him. I did do some damage. It's kind of like an apple butter jar. I kind of opened it most of the way, and then Lorith and Thror opened the apple butter jar the rest of the way. But I mean, I did I did the initial work.
Well, it's still good to meet you.
Great to meet you too. Well, perhaps we could have a dance now or later.
And she takes you up on that.
Make her do the Springle ring.
They have you do the Staddle kick.
Staddle kick.
The Staddle kick.
Does he have to do an athletics roll for that?
Nope, it's not that fast of a dance. It's more of a trot.
Oh.
Nice. All right, so he has a good time and laughs and makes squirrel chirping sounds to the kids when they get near him. Try to scare them away, but kind of funny, scare them away.
Excellent. Anything else anybody wants to do at the party?
Yeah.
What?
Before, I know Hobbit kids get to stay up late sometimes, but at least in the Shire they do.
Mm-hmm.
Before Juniper goes off, I will.
Juniper's like a teenager.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how old. You didn't say how old she was.
That's
the
why
way
I'm
you talked, you made her sound like she was 8.
That's why I'm telling you.
Okay.
The hobbits all look young.
Okay.
Yeah.
You made it. You really made it sound like she was 6, between 6 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly. So, anyway, whatever. I will take a piece of clean fabric from somewhere on my person. I'm sure I've got some somewhere.
Sure.
And I will tie up a little bit of my stash of dried kingsfoil, Atheles.
Mm-hmm.
And I will give it to her, and I say, if you put this under your pillow, it will give you sweet dreams because of the scent. But I think you know how useful this can be. It has great virtues should you ever need should you ever need it, a little goes a long way, and I'm sure you can look up how to use it.
Círdan said he used to tell you the same thing.
Yes, and he was right. Many a wound has been healed, many a person brought back from the Shadowlands by a good store of Athelas.
What are the Shadowlands?
Places you never want to travel in, my dear. Places you never want to travel.
Places where you're trying to take Big Bob?
No, I just wanted him to realize that he was trying to claim something he doesn't want to claim.
Oh. He does that a lot.
Well, if people have an adventurous spirit in part, but a comfortable life, it can be difficult for them. And let's face it, it's best if you have a comfortable life, stick to it and do the best you can in it. There's no need for everyone to go out and search for adventure, and I hope Big Bob won't venture out now.
I don't think he will. If it takes him too far from the prancing pony, I don't think that he's likely to do it.
Well, that's all to the good. I don't think he's cut out for such adventures as we partake. But you, my dear, are cut out to be quite an herbalist.
I know. I just still have a bit of Breland in me. I don't want to really leave Breland behind.
You need not. You need not leave Breland behind.
That's what
to
Círdan
learn and
says.
study. Every place needs someone who is a scholar.
That's true. You don't want Big Bob giving his advice about it. He'd
No.
have you wrap pig manure around your injuries if you asked him.
Yes. When, as we both know, a poultice would be better.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you, Juniper.
It's been a pleasure meeting the legendary Lorith.
Oh, you flatter me.
No, Círdan flatters you.
Well, it's good. You know, fathers don't always say these things to their daughters face to face. But when next you see him, would you give him something for me?
Absolutely.
And I lean in and give her a little delicate kiss on the cheek and a little light squeeze of the shoulders. And I say,
I will. I'll give him the message.
thank you.
So the party comes to an end, and Alphonsus is seeing you guys out as you are among the last to leave. Do you have any last words for Alphonsus and Blossom?
Yeah, I guess before the party ends, I would have probably tried to trade for some pipeweed as well. Our pipeweed is running low.
Sure, make a persuade roll.
I have trading.
Trading is a thing?
Yep.
Okay. You trade with a hobbit named Alaric Goodbody.
Very
what
good.
Are you trading?
I would trade with him our trading post in Sunsteed for some pipeweed. Some exotic woods would be sent over, and then for Erebor, and probably to by the Misty Mountains there. I forgot the guy's name. Graybeard, Gray. Anybody remember the other dwarf?
I don't have any notes.
Along the
thing.
I don't have the note in my notes.
I'll look for it.
His name anymore.
But anyway,
the beardless guy.
yeah,
Throw the beardless. Not throw the beardless.
That would be an affront, wouldn't it?
Frar the beardless.
Frar, yeah. And they would also have some things to trade in the mountain areas near the Misty Mountains.
Okay. You cut some deals and get some contracts sold. There's a notary from the Reeves office who's there to notarized the contracts.
Okay. Great.
So everything is wrapped up,
And then I guess as the party dies down, I would want to talk to. Well, I guess the note from Big Bob, was that about the tree that we already had been near at the house?
Yes.
Okay. All right. But we've already taken care of that tree?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then, yeah, that's all I would do.
Okay. Brimborn, any last words for Alphonsus and Blossom?
No, just tell him that there'll be Throgo Maggot will be up here to visit his family and pick up some cider for the inn in exchange for treasure or whatever he wishes. If he wishes some of the best barley from Lorith's fields there, we can exchange that too if he wants to get into some malting of beer as well as cider in the Hobbiton Bree area.
In Staddle, yeah. Okay. I appreciate that, and I look forward to meeting Togo Maggot.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start keeping beehives too. If I can find somebody to keep hives for me.
Laura, if you have anything, last words for the family before you leave?
Where are we going?
You're going on a fellowship phase.
Okay.
You can you can go to the Prancing Pony to stay the night, and then you can leave from have a breakfast, and then you can go on your fellowship phase.
No, I tell Blossom how well she looks and how glad I am that she is recovered, and
I still don't feel like I'm at my full health yet.
I'm sure. It will take some rest. You should take extra rest as often as you may for the next month.
Dad, I need to take extra rest. I can't do my chores.
Talk to Juniper. She may have some help through healing herbs.
Juniper is weird. She talks to the big folk in the woods.
Yes, she does.
My dad said not to do that.
Well, it could be wise, but Juniper talks to somebody who I personally know is a good person, and she's learned a lot. She might have some help for you to make you feel better.
Okay, then I'll talk to Juniper if you say so, Lorith.
Yes, she's a good person to talk to.
Yep. And with that, you begin your ride from Staddle down to Bree, where there's a room at the Prancing Pony for you.
Okay.
Anything you want to say to each other after this, in the wake of this ordeal, or you want to crash and talk in the morning?
Squirrel bait.
Yeah, I need to bathe. I'm kind of stinky. So I get the tub first, unless you guys want to bathe first, because I'm the stinkiest.
Of course, yeah. We'll
let Lorith go first and reuse the tub water.
I'll get my own tub, thanks. I'm willing to put the money into it to have my own tub tonight.
All right.
So
waste not, want not. So do you think we should? Do you think we should go after the trolls or the?
We just got done.
Yeah.
Rest. I don't even know. Am I full up?
Yeah, I think we have to rest because my last I only had 26 endurance.
I had 14 damage.
Not until all your damage is healed.
Well, we didn't get to heal any damage through this before this party?
No, it was the next night they had the party.
Okay. So I need.
You got 2 points back, actually.
I've got 14 points of damage and a wound, so I would like to get healed before I go fighting trolls.
No, I'm just saying in the long run, what's our next step, or see what happens.
So I forget how we do damage healing in this game. It's been too long.
When you go on a fellowship phase, it just happens.
Okay, so I can exit out?
Yeah. Unless you wait till the morning to make sure you don't get into a brawl fight at the buffet.
Oh.
There's a buffet now at the Prancing Pony.
Of course
Awesome.
there's a buffet at the Prancing Pony.
Since when?
Butterbirds has some Hobbit helpers who have gotten them to even to expect that.
Huh. Any rangers in the common room tonight?
Roll a 12-sided die. If you get a 9 through a Gandalf, then there is.
I got a 9.
You got a 9? Okay. There is a dark-haired female ranger sitting in the corner of the common room.
I get a second pint of grog and bring it over to her. Do I know her?
Make another 12-sided roll.
7.
7, you do not know her.
I put my hood back and I say, and I set the grog down and I say, "Friend, may I join you?"
If you wish.
I do. I am Lorith, daughter of Círdan.
I am Than Zamel Than.
Do I know that name? Have I heard that name before?
No, you have not. She seems a little bit about your age.
It is rare to meet such as you here.
It is. I was on the search for Gorlanc when I got the word that you had taken care of that for us already.
Yes. Yes, we had. And who were you searching with? Had you any companions?
No, I prefer to search myself.
I understand. I used to be the same.
But now you travel with a elf and a dwarf. It is a big change.
It is. Chance brought us together, but we've learned to rely on each other.
It is good to have someone that you can rely on.
Yes.
With how few of us there are left, I feel it is best not to form the attachments and to give us all the best odds by being apart.
I understand. I won't keep you beyond this drink, if you wish.
It is perfectly okay, as long as you don't keep me here till the sunlight. I plan to leave before dawn.
Well, let's share the news. Ask her what news she has from...
What news? Gorlanc has been killed. What news? Other news do we need? Mormog has been driven from by the elves of Rivendell back into the Troshaws, where they are hunting him down.
That's good to hear.
From what I hear of him, that they may not be successful in that. That he is a wily one.
He's the cleverest troll I've ever met, and he is...
That really doesn't say much, does it?
No, but he doesn't... In his plans, there is something devious beyond what a troll can muster. He seems guided, except that he can create a new plan on the spot. He's a very dangerous enemy. Not one you'd want to hunt alone.
I will keep that in mind.
Do so.
The Troshaws are my territory.
Well, hope that you will switch your hunting spaces soon.
It is what has been determined for me by our leaders.
Then you must
be the territory that I should cover.
A very good hunter indeed.
I am.
Perhaps you'd like to go and have a competition with the bow.
Not tonight.
Darts?
Darts, yes.
Okay, so we go off in the corner and play darts.
You play darts, and then gets late, and she excuses herself and leaves through the front door.
Mm-hmm. What's her name again?
Her name is...
It was kind of...
Selma Thon.
Zamo Than.
Okay.
Than Zamo Than.
Okay. Well, that's mine.
Yep. That's your new contact. And I'll put into the notes in here. Hunting grounds in Trollshaws for future times when I send you into the Trollshaws. Mm-hmm. What are the odds of that?
99.9999.
Yes, with an enemy like Mormog. Okay.
My
so the
nemesis.
night comes, you just sleep well. You all have breakfast together. If you want to have any words for each other before you go your own ways for your fellowship phase. Don't be so thrilled to see each other.
Well, we've spent quite a bit of time together. What is everybody else going to do with their...
I'll probably go back to Rivendell and...
This will be your year too, because this is fall right now.
Mm. So I might say that whatever else we do, we might want to spend a week or so together in Sunstead at the end of it.
All right.
Tying up business. If that's amenable. How long do we have? Like a month or something?
You have all winter.
Oh, okay.
People don't usually go adventuring during the winter months.
Right, so we can, well...
Or we can go to Sunstead now to have like a, Fall Fest thing and then go our ways from there.
You can definitely do that.
Well,
maybe if we travel to Sunstead and then do our...
Yeah.
We can even take cider... and stuff from Hobbiton, including the pipeweed and all that stuff down there now.
Because I definitely want to get back to Erebor.
yeah.
Right. Well, you can go and we'll go down there. It would seem more pressing that you'd want to go home.
Yeah, I would think so. That's why I thought I didn't want to winter there, but that's fine. Whichever way you guys want to play it is fine with me.
Why don't we travel to Sunstead, and that would probably, take us a month? And then
Yeah, that'll take you about a month.
And then I'll travel to Erebor over the fellowship phase, if that makes sense.
Sure. Mike, if you'd like to take over the narration for what's going on in Sunstead, it's your place. Since it's part of your fellowship phase.
I would say that Ella Brimholm was trying to grow a forest in the backside of the whiskey drinking bear pub to kind of have a nice kind of beer and wine garden out there with all the elven highlights. So the trees are looking good. Togo Maggot's been kind of managing the place. He's kind of a rascal, but when he gets his mind to it, he gets things done. But most of the time, he'd rather be kicking up his feet and smoking pipeweed if he can. And I'd say the barley crop is
let's find
coming
out about
in.
This is determined by the roll of the dice.
Okay.
At the last fellowship phase of each year, everybody who has a holding makes a roll using the feat dice.
Okay.
All right.
And you know what? I remember I didn't just have the barley and I had barley, something else, and I did have hives already.
Yep.
I remember they were buying honey for the brew.
So roll the 12-sided die, Mike, and tell me what you got.
Okay. An 8.
Is that equal to or less than the holdings rating?
Ooh.
I have my holding rating.
I don't know what our holdings rating is. Let me look and see what.
Mine's at 6, so I know what mine is, but I don't know what everybody else's is. Everybody's got their own holding.
They still make a roll for yours to see how yours goes.
I rolled 9.
9?
Mm-hmm.
Is that equal? Is that higher then?
It's higher than.
You do not attain the appropriate standard of living, but if the holding is appropriate of wealth, it earns treasure equal to the difference between the roll and the rating.
So 3.
You get 3 treasure out of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thrower, do you have a holding?
I thought we all did something in Sunsteed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We each have our holdings. We each have our own holding, but we went in on the pub.
Right. Okay.
So roll a 12-sided die.
Okay.
I mean, they own more of the pub, but I have a share of it as well. But my holding is low.
I rolled a big 2.
Ooh, equal to or less than.
I don't have.
The holding produces just enough wealth to keep you at your standard of living.
Okay.
It's not thriving, but it's not doing that great.
That would be understandable because I've been spending more time trying to get back home, sending goodies back home for the new son.
Yeah, I don't know where I wrote down how much holdings we have in it, but
Okay.
I think we're close.
I got an 8.
Let me see how we.
Do you want to say the same thing as Lorith or
Well, let me look it up in the rules.
I think mine. I had mine at a 9, and I wanted to say you were at an 8. Does that sound right?
I don't know. I would have put as much as I could into it. You know what I mean?
I think it was just a roll.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Thought so. Yeah.
Let's put it at a 7. Your holding is at.
Okay. It stays that forever then?
It may go up or down depending on different things that happen in game.
Okay. Like an army of orcs run through that area?
Yeah, if it falls under the dark side of the forests, Mirkwood gets really bad, then it goes down.
Well, it's not in Mirkwood.
Well, it's at the edge of Mirkwood. Sunsteed is in a little cul-de-sac
right
outside of Mirkwood.
Yeah, it's so close to Mordor that nothing will ever happen.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I actually started crafting at the trading post area horseshoes.
Okay.
So, basically, I'm trying to bond with our new fellowship partner. Well, I keep forgetting his name and calling him the wrong name on purpose. I mean, accidentally.
Grimbo?
Grimbaba, whatever his name is.
Grimbald, yeah, right.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Remember?
He means the guy who makes the ships that we were talking.
No, he means Grimbo.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, sorry.
Because he taught me how to ride a horse.
Sorry, people.
So now
I just have a crappy memory.
Now I'm trying to write to
For most things.
help improve relations now with Rohan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll make sure to spend one of those points of treasure on bonus for all the people that work for me on my land.
That's generous of you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll split between, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
sure.
That's still good, right?
A point of treasure is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It is a very good bonus.
Well, plus it probably helps my standing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want them to know that I value that they look after things well when I'm away doing things that I must do.
Yep. Where do you have all these hives and things?
On my land. On
Sunsteed?
Yeah, we each, the way it was we each have a plot of land to do things with. Right. And I don't know who they built the, got the pub going, and my land helps provide stuff for brewing,
mm-hmm.
and they've got their own stuff that they do with it too. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Thrower's got a trading post. Brimborm's got the pub. You've got the growing stuff.
Right.
Any news from anything that you want to talk to? Otherwise, Sailwind, the leader there, is in very good spirits and is happy to see you all there, and wishes that you would be around a lot more. He thinks that you are a good luck charm for Sunsteed.
Speaking of charms, do we have the pins for the Beers Around Middle-earth club?
I'll have to go to Rivendell and work on those.
Yeah, somebody needs to get them designed, or maybe somebody in Dale could, or the Lonely Mountain could do it.
Well, I'm starting to work on my elven smithing abilities.
Understood.
Although it's for really specialized. I'm trying to make be able to enchant weapons. So since we keep on running across things that are really evil in the shadow, so
yes. Be nice to have a weapon that fights creatures of shadow especially well. Such are not easy to find.
Yep, weapons with the Bane attribute. So I'll basically say that it takes you 3 fellowships phases in order to be able to craft it, to learn how to craft it. Then it'll take you 2 fellowship phases to enchant a weapon with that ability.
Okay. There's rules in the Rivendell book. I got a copy of it.
Okay. There's rules for enchantment.
It says so I mean I'm at the point where I started as a it's a cultural virtue. So artificer of Eregan, and then evaluate treasure, and then my next step is enchant weapons. But it says to complete this work, an artificer must accumulate 6 craftsmanship points in one or more undertaking. To gain these craftsmanship points during the same fellowship phase, the companion may make a craft roll, spend experience points, or gain shadow, or a combination of the 3. Gain 1 craftsmanship point on a successful craft roll, 2 points on a great success, and 3 on an extraordinary result. Spending experience, you gain 1 craftsmanship point for every experience point you choose to spend. Finally, you may require craftsmanship points by gaining shadow at the cost of 1 shadow for each craftsmanship point. Wow, that's a pretty steep price.
Yeah, it is.
So
James Michael Spawn.
So when you
put the rules for us.
Yeah, so let's see. If you don't succeed in accumulating 6 craftsmanship points in the same fellowship phase, take note of the number of points gained that far, then resume work at a later fellowship phase.
Yep.
So I got to get 6 in order to even enchant anything. But I guess if you're really desperate to get it, you'll take shadow points.
Yep. You're lured by power.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So maybe that'll be happening.
Maybe.
I already got 1 point of shadow, so.
Oh, there's more to come. So, everybody can... that's good for your time in Sunsteed as you check out on your holdings. Now, everybody can go where they wish to go and spend your points the way you want to spend your points.
Can we roll to see how successful our fall festival is there in Sunsteed?
Sure, roll a feat die.
Not that we're... What do you want us to do? Just a 12-sided?
Just a 12-sided.
All right. Come on, Gandalf. A 3. No one knows about it.
Yeah, it's more of a private event. The people don't know what to make of it, but some travelers who come through have a very good time.
We don't spend enough time in this pub for people to maybe remember us from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, Togo doesn't have time to go out there and do marketing outside of there.
Too rushed.
And the people of Sunsteed
just got there too rushed.
Basically, making ends meet, hand to foot, hand to mouth,
hand to foot,
whatever that they're
foot to mouth.
Yeah,
don't do that, kids.
Togo's feet spent. Yeah, Togo's feet spent too much time up on a table than down on the ground working.
Yeah, didn't really market it well. But you've had your inaugural event.
All right.
Yeah, that was great.
With the cider.
All right, who wants to go first in their fellowship phase?
Not me.
Count up your points and tell what you want to do and tell what happens and where you're at.
Can I take a leave to use the...
Sure.
You want me to go first then, or no?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So I'm going to go, like I mentioned, go back to Rivendell and try to learn some more stuff about becoming an elven smith or artificer, and work long hours down in Air Region, and that's about it. My goal is to try to maybe create a matic for Thror.
Ooh.
As kind of the wedding gift I never gave him, and birthday gift, and for the baby, and all that kind of stuff.
Very, very nice. So you're working with Damron, the Elven Smith, who's showing you the secrets of the elves as you are doing this. You want to make the rolls for creating it? See if we make it?
Yeah. All right. The problem is it doesn't say what the, it doesn't say what your, what you have to get, I guess is the question. I don't see like a number, like it says 15 or 17 or 9 or whatever, but I guess you would just set that.
That's just usually at 14 if it's not stated.
Okay. So here we go. So I got 1 Tengu, and the total is an 18 with a Tengu.
Alright, that makes it.
So that would be a great success, correct?
That is a great success.
Alright, so that's 2 craft points. And then I have 13 experience points. You may gain 1 craft point for each experience points you choose to spend. So I'm going to spend I really want to gain a point of shadow because I'm trying to push this in haste because I feel really terrible that I really didn't get Thror anything for his wedding or hit the birth of his baby. And so I'll take 1 point of shadow, and then I'll spend the other 3 points from experience. If you're okay with that.
I'm perfectly all right with that.
So that would give this. It would be a +1 to attack rolls.
Against a certain type or just in general?
User gains a +1 bonus to his attack rolls using the customized weapon. You may later undertake to improve the weapon once again for a total bonus of +2.
Okay. It's a +1 weapon. So
and then
this majestic weapon you've created.
Well, it's really it's very very ornate. It's gonna look strange because it has elven ruins on it instead of dwarven ruins. So it's very decorative and well cut, not bulky. You can literally place it on 2 fingers, and it's so well balanced. Just a beautiful piece of almost artwork. You wouldn't think that it would be something that you would use to bash skulls open, and it looks more ornamental than it does look deadly.
Just like its creator.
What's that?
Just like its creator.
Exactly. So just an exquisite thing, and it's wrapped in like its handle is wrapped in like the white leather of the white deer hide that's kind of rare to kind of get or gather in the hunt.
Wow.
And then I try to find some very special gossamer type of fabric to wrap it in, so when I meet Thror, I can hand it to him.
Very nice. Any skill points you want to spend?
I only got 8. I don't know how much I can do with 8. Because I pretty much got 2 in everything, or better.
Adventurer's Book, Fellowship Base.
I almost want to...
Posterize raise a skill from 1 to 2 is 8 points. So going from 2 to 3 is 12 points.
Yeah, so I don't have enough.
So you're going to be doing that.
Yeah, so those just go away, or they accumulate?
They accumulate.
All right.
You can just bank them.
Yeah, instinctively I thought I don't have enough.
Yeah, because you're at this phase of the game where your stuff is way up there.
I've just done a bad job at keeping track of whether I succeed at skills, so that's what you get, players, for not paying attention. You just roll dice and that's it.
Damn straight.
So while you are there, you are called in from the forge by Aristor, who is the most prominent individual in the household of Elrond, second only to Glorfindel. Elrond, for some reason, is not around, and nobody is saying where he is. You are called to meet with Aristor.
Okay. So I try to, depending on how much time I have, I try to clean myself up and make myself presentable.
Yep. He's waiting for you in the Hall of Fire and says, "Word has come to you for you from the Grey Wizard, who's crossed back into Mirkwood to visit Radagast before going to Lothlorien. It seems that over the winter, Lagelevin passed away during the cold.
Oh, that's terrible, terrible news. One of my dearest friends. I wish I could have known this or been at her side, but it must have been sudden. She was an older woman, and that bracelet of the shadow, even though we tried to save her from it, must have basically sapped some of her life out of her, and it's just awful.
It is. Apparently, she, as she was dying, she was making scones, and she used her last energy to make sure the scones got out of the oven and onto the table before she collapsed.
Well, she died happy then, and that's all that matters.
Her family, Elvira, the pot stirrer, has requested that your company, since you played such a big part in her life, come over to the old ford and meet with the family and do a memorial service when you get a chance.
Well, I'll go as soon as I can. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that information with me. And I try to share some stories about her and the family and everything.
He laughs and enjoys the stories and says, "Good."
What other news do you get of the shadow that you can share with me from the council?
There has been great problems from the south. One of the other things I was going to ask you was to, and he points to a raven that's sitting on the arm of the throne. As ambassador to the dwarves of Erebor, I have a task for you. Send a raven to the Lonely Mountain with a message for me. Take this down. King Dane, I am the first to receive this news, although it is possible King Turgon may have received this information in advance, though he's taken ill to his bed since the enemy re-announced his presence. Please forward this information to King Bard of Dale. I will send it to Master Elrond of Rivendell when he arrives. It is with great sadness I share the news that Fangel, King of Rohan, has passed away. Though not popular with his own people, the monarchs of the free peoples must stand united. Fangel's son, Thangel, has taken up residence in Gondor and married a Gondorian lady. The Grey Pilgrim assures me he will personally deliver this news to Thangel and convince him to claim his throne. I fear the lords of that land, always fickle, will try to take advantage of the young king. He will need trustful advisors if he is not to be overthrown from within.
You mean Theoden?
Nope, Thangel.
Thangel's son Theoden.
This is Fangel, Fengel,
right.
died. Thangel is Theoden's father.
Yeah.
Deepest regards, King Aristor of Rivendell.
I couldn't understand it.
Oh, that is grave news as well. Do we know how King Fangel passed away?
It was of natural causes. There was a prolonged illness.
Well, that is
he was a very stubborn man, and refused care until he was unable to prevent his wife and servants from forcing care upon him.
That is sad, as you know, Aristor, that we shall we shall make friends, and we can sit and wait and ponder on things for years and years while these humans make hasty, sharp decisions that can fall the wrong way without contemplating them, since their lives are so short, whether it be in marriage or in acts of war.
It is very true.
So this is why I have never been married yet. I'm very young still.
Oh, you are not as young as you think.
Whoa, bro! You're supposed to be there for me, like my elven wingman. But okay.
Maybe that is how they do things in Thranduil's palace, but not here.
Well, I am really afraid of my life is so dangerous out there in the wild that I'm afraid of really breaking some poor person's heart by them getting the same news that you shared with me of the death of two of my friends.
It is how. But it is the double-bladed sword there. That there is the joy and love and all the memories that are formed by attachment. But that is coupled with the loss that comes at the end with the parting.
He doesn't know about that kind of coupling.
Yeah. As you know, the song of Celebrimborn, it seems that many people of the Middle Earth love Celebrimborn, and so he lives through that love of Middle Earth. So
as long as you love, that is all that can be asked for.
Yes.
You got pudding frosting on. Yeah, frosting on that one too.
But that is grave news. I thank you for your time and your counsel. I shall consult with a friend of mine, but it sounds like we will need to go to Rohan and help out there if there's trouble down there.
It seems to be great turmoil. The lords there who rule the different baronies are at each other's throats and conniving against each other. Their greatest enemies are within. And now with the new king, they're united in having their schemes involve the king. Especially a young, inexperienced king who is foreign to their problems.
May I leave you with my song of the Rohirrim?
Absolutely, you may.
South of the Misty Mountain Pass spread rolling seas of green grass, traversed by blue arteries of water, call forth northern horns to their father. There lies Adoras, the court of the horse lords. The show-born waters crossed its shallow ford. Two lines of kings have ruled in the Golden Hall, built from the horde of Scatha's fall. Here knights, not mere fighters, stand, who love to hear the song of their king's command. The shadow is subtle in Riddermark. Its taint may reach deeper than Mirkwood's own dark.
That is very good. Thank you very much for sharing that.
You're welcome. It is my duty and service, and I appreciate you and Lord Elrond's hospitality and allowing me to gain your knowledge in smithing and your companionship.
You have done great things for this land. You are our cousin. You are our friend. We open our doors gladly to you. And know that we do not open our gates gladly to many.
This I realize as being a friend of Elrond.
Excellent. Anything else you want?
Is there anything you need of me or information you'd like me to pass?
There is not. Just what I have told you. Send the message to the Lonely Mountain, being ambassador to the Lonely Mountain.
Okay, I will send ravens out.
Anything else you want to do on your fellowship phase?
That's it. Just send out the messages by avian carriers or in person.
Yep. So let's go to Thror. Thror, what do you wish to do with your fellowship phase?
So, hopefully my internet will hold. It keeps bouncing up and down, so apologies. I'm missing about half of what's being discussed. But, yeah, I think since we came back to Sunsteed, I'm going to use 10 to holding in a little bit of a different fashion. So I would like to spend a little time with the men of Sunsteed, educating them and training them on a little dwarf craftsmanship to make horseshoes. And so basically my journey will start at Sunsteed.
Okay.
And I will tend to holding there basically under the premise that I'm trying to improve our ability to make horseshoes, which we will then trade with Rohan, hearing the news of the death of the king and hoping to improve the relationships between the people of Sunsteed as well as Erebor and Rohan. And then I will travel north back to Erebor with the hope of taking that pipeweed with me along the way and trading it for metals, which I can then send back or bring back to Sunsteed with me. So that's kind of the trader part of me, and I guess 10 to holding says I can actually roll another feat die and choose the best result.
Sure.
So I don't know if I can do that and hopefully improve the holding rather than just maintain it.
Yes, you may.
So I will roll a second die, and unfortunately I only roll a 3.
Okay. So no, it didn't improve.
Didn't make any difference. That's fine. So yeah, all good. So I travel back to Erebor, and I will spend the winter with my family, enjoying the quiet moments with my newborn and my wife, and bonding with my family, and spending a few quiet conversations with King Dane as well, letting him know about what's happening in the world and the coming of the shadow and how we're trying to fight back as best we can, and to thank him for allowing me to venture out and meet this evil rather than staying here in Erebor and not be able to help in the way that I know that I can.
Speaking of King Dane, while you are up in Erebor, you are required to attend court with the king. And amongst the first petitioners is Beaufrey, who, despite the best efforts of Erebor's tailors and servants, still looks like he has spent the last year in the wilds of southern Mirkwood. He is ragged, thin, and his clothes are torn in multiple places. Your Majesty, this past year I wandered the old dwarf road through Mirkwood, with the intentions of opening it up again. It will bring you a bounty and trade from the west. You did not wander those haunted lands just to see how intact they were. You knew from word coming from Mirkwood that the forest is retaking even the stoutest constructed structures, King Dane says. No, Your Majesty, Balin says. I sought this. And he produces a long staff carved with runes. You found the lost road warden's staff? Very well done, Balin. You took the lives of my companions to do it. There was a giant, and I mean giant, spider resting on top of the structure containing the staff. I'm afraid we woke up the spider, and it fed on several of those that I called my friends. But I have returned with the Road Warden's staff. It entitles me to rule over the old dwarven road, and I come to you with this authority to request dwarves and gold for the reconstruction of the old dwarven road. Balin, you didn't send those adventurers to their doom thinking that relic would force my decision. The road, as you know, runs through spider territory. It is too dangerous for travelers or workers to be anywhere near that site. I acknowledge your role as road warden, but it is of a broke road that will soon be forgotten. What advice do you have for the king about this?
So unfortunately, I caught about a 50% of that. I did hear about it's Balin who recovered the staff.
Yep, he recovered the road warden's staff, which grants him the authority to rule over the old dwarven road. A bunch of adventurers went with him to get the staff from a ruin, and a giant spider got waken up in the process and killed the adventurers. This was a mission that you could have taken if you weren't fighting Gorlanc.
Right. So I would counsel the king to recall that Frau the Beardless is also in that area, and that if we were to entertain sending some of our dwarves along with some of our metals, that maybe they could help in building some weapons and helping to protect the road and hopefully secure the area from the spiders.
Make a persuade roll. TN 16.
16? Okay.
He's kind of not wanting to put resources toward this.
Sure. Not too bad. 9, 5, 14, 3, 17. No Tingus.
Okay. Just the bare minimum. So that you are not
Understood.
going back empty-handed, Road Warden. And Balin seems to be happy with this.
Okay, very good. And I'll also let him know that I will additionally, on the side, after we break from the king, I will let Balin know that I have sent some pipeweed for trading with Farrar as well to help on the building of the roads, and that hopefully that will add some additional comfort to those that are pulling this together. I know their spirits sometimes are fragile in that part of the lands.
Thank you very much, my lord. That'll help. It has been a very bitter fall as we've undergone the beginning of the construction.
Very good. And then I will again spend a little more time with Mare and my son.
Yep.
And I will make a small little toy axe for him. Not axe, but hammer. So he can bang on things as he's starting to get towards his toddler years, I would think, soon. So hopefully as he grows, he'll have something to play with. Because what would a dwarf be without a hammer?
It's about this time, as you're watching your son play with the hammer, that you are summoned hastily toward court again. This was not
I'm sorry.
Originally
Can you say that?
Apparently, a woodsman claiming to be a king among men has important news for you. And you recognize, standing in the waiting room, is Mogrid.
Sorry, I didn't get any of that other than King of the Woods.
You recognize in the waiting room, waiting to see the king, is Mogrid. Morgrid. From Tyrant's Hill.
Right.
He's not sending children to fight to the death, and he's not eating gluttonously, but you totally recognize him. What do you advise? How do you advise the king?
I think it's. I think you said it was Morgrid.
Yep, it's Morgrid.
I definitely advise the king of the history of him and his ways, and caution the king before he entertains seeing him at all.
So should we let him speak, or should we send him away?
Just be cautious of his words. He may not speak the truth at all, but we must learn what we must from him.
Yep. Dane calls for his guards to let the man approach. One of the 9, the one known as the Messenger of Mirkwood, one of the 3 who call Dol Guldur their domain. This is near to my land, known as Tyrant's Hill. He offered me great power from Sauron if I would join forces with that of the Sorcerer's Hill and lead my fellow woodsmen to a war in which they would be eradicated. These woodsmen accepted me amongst their own leaders, and I take that oath of fealty seriously. I will not turn against them. I will not harm my kin. I thought it important to bring this news to you. What do you say? Dane turns to you. You know this Mogrid of Tyrant's Hill, and have had experience with the shadows of Sauron, unless I am mistaken. Do you believe his words are true? Either way, what do you make of what he said? How does it affect us here in Erebor? Should I call a council with King Bard?
The lands of that region are now subject to being overrun. I think that's near the trolls as well, and we've fought hard to gain back from the shadow there. To let it slip again to the shadow would not be well advised. So we must look to support them in some way. I am not certain of what's the best manner for support, seeing that we are being stretched on many fronts. Do you have relations with others? Maybe we could call on Bjornings to support.
I do not have relations with the Bjornings.
I have relationships with them. Maybe we can provide some trade in some form or fashion with them, and hopefully they would then offer assistance. Should I send word?
I also suggest that you spend some time with the Woodsman town in Roscoble, trying to make sure that they're aware of what's going on out there. You don't want the main source of news to them to be Mogrid.
Yes, very good. Maybe we do. Radagast is someone that I've gained trust with, and he has offered great advice. We can send word to him as well.
Very well. Mogrid, I am rewarding you with a golden suit of armor, taking from an orc chieftain. The dwarves have repaired the damage to it. It's worth 20 treasure. Morgrid proudly dons it and pledges his allegiance to Erebor. When Morgrid leaves, Dane whispers to you, Thror, keep your eyes on that one. He thinks I trust him unconditionally. He's a fool. Watch that one. He may put a dagger in my back. Yours, and many other leaders.
Definitely. I will keep my eye on him. And thank you, King Dane. Your belief in me for counsel is very grateful for you being able to do that as well.
Another day, you are summoned to court and demanded that you wear black. When the court convenes, King Dane says to you, "This morning I awoke from a horrible dream. The land west of Mordor fell away into a great pit, and the rest of the land tilted, and everything on it, mountains and rivers, slid helplessly toward that pit, as the orcs of Mordor and Sauron laughed. When I left my bedchambers, there was a messenger there to bring me the news I bring to you. Turgon, steward of Gondor, has died. As I've said before, only a few know this is truth. Turgon fell into a stupor and was taken to bed the hour before Sauron declared himself in Mordor. He has not had the strength to leave the bed since then. Today, we lose a staunch ally. How the next steward will be, I do not know. If he is not of the right metal, we might be sliding toward Mordor in the pit that used to be Gondor. Thror, before too long, I want you to check in on Rohan's King Thangol. You have a Rohanian friend. You will be treated right if he is standing by your side."
Very good. Should I look to journey to meet with him?
Doesn't need to be immediate, but I would do it in the next couple of years.
Very well. I have holdings in Sunsteed now, and I've been trying to train some of the men down there to help craft horseshoes and such. Hopefully, I can use that to barter friendship and trust. Would you be open to providing more metals that I can send down to the Sunsteed area in order to do this?
Of course. Sounds like a very good proposition.
Very well. I will take this up as soon as the year ends here and the spring breaks.
Do you want to spend any of your skill points or XP?
Yes, I do. I think I am going to go crazy and basically up my Matic skills to their maximum.
Going up to 5?
Actually, it's 6.
Yeah, 6, okay.
So basically, spending time at home and staying in shape for the battles to come.
Excellent. So we
And
no, go ahead.
and then I'm sorry. And then for my skill points, I think I'm going to increase. What can I increase here? Give me a minute. I'll think about what I'm going to increase for skills.
Okay.
Okay.
Lorith, you're on deck, so prepare yourself of what you want to spend your points on.
Mm-hmm. I've got other things to do first.
Yep. Where are you going to be for your fellowship phase?
I'm going to first go to the nearest ranger hideout sanctuary that I know of near there.
Sure. You go there.
And
you meet Juan Nado.
Wait a minute. And I will request from the council. I tell them how much time I have, and that I wish to be of service to my people more directly than I've been for a while, and ask for a mission that they think that I can take care of in that time. And while they're deliberating over that, I will do small work on my craft by aiding people. I have craft of small weapon repair. Not making big swords, but repairing notches and this and that and problem whatever. And I will do that. You know what I mean, for the couple days. Anybody that wants it.
The mission they give you is they are concerned with Sauron's reestablishment in Mordor, and their fears of Dol Guldur growing in power. They want you to keep an eye on the woodsmen in the Roscobo and Woodman town to make sure that they are not tormented by the powers of the Sorcerer's Hill.
So they want me to do basically reconnaissance and report back, or
keep an eye on there and monitor the situation and deal with it from the shadows as need be.
Okay.
They do not want they see the woodsman as being a blocker of civilization there, and if they fall, then it's a set of dominoes across Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Which will come to the Dunedain.
Mm-hmm. Is there anybody else stationed there now?
Just Radagast.
Mm-hmm.
And he is...
No, I mean of our people.
Not of our people. We have not sent anybody that far across. Mm-hmm. But we know you have friends in the Thranduil's kingdom and in Erebor, which takes you out there that often. But we would like you to spend time in that area to be aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And to be aware of any dangers or schemes the agents of the Sorcerer's Hill is playing on the Woodman.
Okay. So I have 10 XP and I have 8 skill points.
8 skill points. You can bring something from 1 to 2.
Okay.
Let's see. With the XP, how much do you have?
10.
10. You can bring a Valor or Wisdom or a battle skill up from 3 to 4.
You mean my weapon skills?
Yes, a weapon skill. If you take a Valor or Wisdom rank up there, then you get a whatchamacallit, you get a reward or a virtue.
Yeah, I think I'll take Wisdom from 4 to 5.
You take Wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mike just sent me some word about the lore around Thor's Matic. Mm-hmm. So I'm just copying that. Let's pull up the Rivendell book.
And can I assume that I can get rid of this wound and the damage now?
Yes, that's all gone.
Okay.
Let's go to the Rangers.
I can't even read this one. Something of armor.
You raised Wisdom?
Yes.
Cultural virtue. You can take Dauntless Guardians. You have been raised in a land dotted with desolate ruins and burial mounds. So when you first use this virtue, you learn how to see the unseen. You may later reinforce your spirit with strength of will by spending in 1 XP point.
I have strength of will.
Okay. Finally, when you reach the stature of a true Wraithbane by spending another experience point as a new undertaking during a later fellowship phase. So you can increase your Dauntless Guardians if you want to.
Or
you can see the unseen. You already said you have that?
I have Strength of Will, Royalty Revealed, Numenorian Arrows, and something of Armor.
You can get See the Unseen. You can basically see ghosts, shades, and wraiths of any kind. A successful roll of lore yields additional information on the nature of the haunting.
Okay.
You can get Strength of Will. When an undead creature forces you to make a corruption or fear test.
I have that. I've said that 3 times.
Sorry.
Yes.
You can get Wraithbane. When you hit an undead monster that can be wounded by your attacks with a piercing blow, the creature rolls 1 less dice on its protection test. Higher chance of wounding a undead monster.
Wraithbane.
Yep.
Ooh.
Endurance of the Ranger. If the total encumbrance of your gear you're carrying is equal to or less than 14, you gain benefits. Your maximum endurance score is considered to be 3 points higher. So basically your traveling is a lot easier by that.
Anything else?
You got Royalty Revealed. Rumor of the Earth.
I already have that.
Ways of the Wild. When fighting in the wilderness, you receive 1 free combat advantage bonus die. When on a journey, if you are the guide of the company, you are considered to be assuming all vacant traveling roles. So if there's... Otherwise, you would be ambushed if you don't have a lookout or a huntsman thing on that.
You know what? I think I like Wraithbane.
Wraithbane? Okay.
Yes.
Hit an undead monster, it rolls 1 less protection test die.
I mean, seeing things unseen is great. Of course, in Cthulhu, that would drive you insane really fast.
Yes, it would.
As we know. Okay. So, the other one, I don't have that many skills that are only, like I have dagger is a weapon skill, so I can't raise that at 1.
Well, you spend all the XP points.
Right, I'm saying that I only have 2 skills that are only at 1. One is courtesy and the other is song. Well, courtesy did get me in trouble. I guess that would be... you know what? I think I'm going to let it ride.
Yep. Bank those
and that took all my
points.
XP?
That took all your XP.
Okay. So I will do this. I don't know how you want to do this mission, but, you know.
This is going to be worked into the missions that you choose from for as different things happen and as the campaign proceeds.
No, you didn't understand. I asked them for something that I could do during this winter time, during this time that we have off, and then go back.
Okay.
That's how I'm spending my...
Well, this is not just given you for the winter, but this is given to you as a permanent mission.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. So I'll do some watching, and then I will go and meet them where did we say we would meet at the end? At Rivendell or at Erebor or...
Where did you guys want to meet? Mike and George?
When we're done with
Back at Sunsteed or at Mirkwood?
I'd vote for Sunsteed since everybody's like all, wanting to see us more.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yep.
Okay.
So while you are out there watching the Woodsman, you are visited by a writer of Rivendell who has, Lady Lorith, I have bad news for you. I was sent out by Aristor, and there has been a visit by the Grey Pilgrim to Rivendell, and he brings ill tidings. Legeleven has passed away. Legeleven, the lady who you were at the very beginning of the campaign.
Oh, who we, yeah. The one
Anklebiter.
What?
Anklebiter. Who was the one who was
possessed.
cursed and possessed.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's sad news. She overcame much.
She did. Her daughter, Elvira the potmaster, would like your group to come to the old ford and have a service, in a memorial service of her.
We'll be there as soon as maybe I go to meet them this week.
Thank you. All right. And
I send my greetings to Elrond. And
Elrond is not at Rivendell at this time. He is abroad. But I will, when I see him, I will give him your words.
Elrond abroad?
Mm-hmm.
That is rare.
As you watch the woodsman, there is a lot of concern over the Black Tarn, and you move over to there. That is kind of a little lake in the middle of Mirkwood, near where the woodsmen live.
Mm-hmm.
And it has become choked with weeds lately, and woodsmen have begun to disappear. Boats have vanished as shortly after setting sail.
How big is this?
It is pretty considerable. Of the Black Tarn is a fairly big lake. It's a fairly big lake, and it connects into the Dusky River, which sails into southern Mirkwood, pretty close to the heart of Mirkwood, which is spider-occupied territory.
I will inspect these weeds.
Okay. Make a lore roll.
And I'll update everyone on what I learned when I was in Erebor.
I'm sorry, I was muted.
Probably when we're all together again shortly.
Oh, okay.
It would be, because I'm still there alone, I guess. All right. Okay. 12 with the Tengu.
You are not sure what these weeds are. They are not anything that is natural, and they are growing thick and able enough to catch somebody and drag them under and hold them under the water to drown if they don't know what their way through this.
So, do these seem like they have... I mean, are they just trailing, or do they seem like they have more of a kind of a will to them?
They seem to be drifting a bit, but they seem to have an easy time of catching somebody's ankle and making them trip and fall under the water.
I'm going to find someone trusted here in this village and send them. I know this is a bold move, but in fact, maybe I'll ask Radagast about it first. I want to have him or somebody else, maybe he can find somebody that's good, to send a message about this to Bombadil and see if he knows what these are, because he knows from weeds that catch people. This is kind of one of his areas of expertise.
Your only problem is Radagast is not home. The woodsman of Roscoble tell you that he left about 4 months ago and has not been seen since.
Well, that's dire news. Though he must have reason for his business. How much time do I have left before I have to go back at this point?
About a month or two.
Oh, okay. I'll go myself.
You don't have enough time to get all the way out there to where Bombadil is.
You know, I have no thing of, if I knew somebody, so I don't have time to get to the Shire, basically. Either,
no.
So no.
Not there and back.
I guess I'll have to let it go, but I will warn the woodsman that perhaps this part of the tarn is best left untraveled for now, and
this does not go over well, as there is a whole village on the western shore of the Black Tarn that depends on fishing in the river and traveling the river for their livelihood.
You said lake.
Yeah, it's a lake that moves onto the Dusky River.
The river. Okay. Well, surely there's a place higher up where they can meet the river.
The river comes from the lake.
Okay, rivers don't come from lakes. Lakes can meet up with rivers, but rivers don't come from lakes. Okay. Rivers move swiftly and fast, and and lakes sit there. So
unless it's a lake that it's accumulated snow at a very high elevation, like a mountain lake that only is fed by snow.
So this is it would kind of be the other way around, you know. Right. I mean, this is, you know, we're on Lake Erie, right? So we have a different kind of a lake situation, and we do in fact have this kind of I will take a couple of their smart trackers and best problem solvers, and we will try and map out an easy route to a better place to fish. Okay.
Sure.
I'll spend the rest of the time doing that before it's time for me to
hunting
leave
row.
And then I'm gonna have to feed the cat. Sorry, I forget. Okay, 3 in hunting. 3. 4. Okay, that's 8 on the 12-sider. 2 makes 10. 1 makes 11. Come on. And 4, 15.
15. Together over the next 2 months, you find a better route.
Mm-hmm.
As you are doing so, make an awareness check.
Okay. 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 15 with
you
the
notice
tango.
that you are constantly followed by a woman who climbs out of the water and then disappears in the water and gains the body of a fish, the river maidens. They are very interested in what you are doing and follow you.
River maiden?
Yep. There are women that can change...
Like Goldberry.
Yeah, like Goldberry. That are protectors of the Black Tarn, and have traditionally been friends to the woodsmen that have settled here, and friends to Radagast. And they are taking a very big interest in what you are doing.
Then I will spend part of a day sitting there and in front of there and call to them and see if I can parlay with them.
Make a persuade roll.
Well, this is going in a direction I did not expect. Where's persuade? There it is. Okay, I have more or less the same number of boxes in almost all my skills. I don't know why. Like can't remember that. Oh, good. 7. 3, that's 10. That's 16. That's 19 with a Tengu.
Okay.
I'm probably know something that they would like as an offering, so I'll make it if I have such to offer.
The River Maidens, you gain the youngest one's attention, Silverbell, who comes up to you and says, "Hello, Lorith."
Hello, my lady.
What are you doing going across through the woods and across the lake?
Trying to assure the safety of the woodmen. What are you doing here lately? What has happened to the lake?
Here. Darkness is coming to the lake. It is polluting it and making it difficult for us. There is evil coming from the area known as Sorcerer's Hill. It is spreading from there, and I fear for me and my sister's lives.
Has anyone appeared to you? Has anyone from there talked to you or made offers to you?
Oh no, we have not seen anyone come up from there.
They're the source of the weeds that pull people below?
I don't know about they, but the evil I am aware comes from there. I can feel it coming from that direction. And my friend Radagast says that is the direction of the Sorcerer's Hill.
Ah, you know Radagast. What is
we
your
know
name?
Radagast very well. My name is Silverbell.
Silverbell. I will take this up with people who may be able to help. But it
I
will
would
take some
appreciate
time.
it. My sisters are acting very weirdly.
What? What are they doing?
They're playing tricks on the woodsmen every now and then, making their boats spin around in circles for an area, taking the bait from them, their fishing rods, and pulling them into the lake.
Perhaps your sisters have been touched by the darkness, Silverbell.
Oh no, they have not been touched by the darkness. I would know that. But they're acting very weirdly. Perhaps it is affecting them.
Perhaps it is. Stay in the clearest part of the water.
I need your help. I don't want to lose my sisters.
No, of course not. I understand. I will take up this matter with those who I can. Do you know where Radagast had gone?
I do not know. I have not seen him in some time.
No. Something's brewing. Many of the wise have been out of contact. Take heart. There are friends that are looking out for you and this water. Encourage your sisters to let the woodsman be for now.
I will do what I can. Thank you, Lorith.
Thank you, Silverbell. May we meet again in a peaceful time.
And she dives into the water, and you see a giant fish tail pop out of the water as she goes swimming.
Right. Okay. Well, that was fun.
That is where we will take our 10-minute break, and then we will come back to where everybody meets up in Sunsteed.
All right.
Excellent. The Stinky Squirrel song is posted on Obsidian Portal, as well as Betrayal of a King. Thank you. All right, see you in 10.
Yes, please. I am working on calculating something. looking up information.
Maybe we could, before we engage, we can have everybody say their top 2 favorite quarantine activities.
Yep. Ready, Mare?
Yep.
Yep. And welcome back to Threats from Mirkwood, Company of the Whiskey Drinking Bear. Hey, Mary had a fun little idea. What's everybody's top 2 favorite quarantine activities thus far? Mike?
I would say it's been hanging out with my family, playing games, or watching TV together. I've been watching basically totally tawdry, useless shows with my daughter now and then, kind of thing. So kind of what you consider like teenage girl shows. So
Did you see the movie Kissing Booth?
no.
It's fun.
Is that on Netflix or whatever?
Yes, it is.
Is that like a kind of a useless film, or?
Well, it's really entertaining despite that it's like a, teenage romance film. It's funny.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
It's a teenage romance film? Yeah.
It's funny, too.
Yeah, so we're watching stuff like that, and yeah, it's pretty. I remember watching, Dora the Explorer with the kids, so I've grown a long way now. I'm up to, teen sitcoms, so.
Cool.
But we taught Grandma how to play Catan today. Grandma's 81. We taught her how to play Catan today, so she almost won, but my sons were viciously blocking Grandma. So,
George, what are your favorite 2 activities?
I'm sorry, what are my what?
Favorite 2 quarantine activities?
2 quarantine activities. Boy, that's a good one. All I've been doing is working since it started.
Right, yeah, you don't get to be quarantined, but...
Yeah, it's funny. So, all I'm on is video conferences mostly all day long, trying to fix things or help people. So, yeah, my favorite activity right now would be sleeping.
Mary, what's your favorite activity?
Then in tonight's gaming, I guess that's the second.
I definitely have to say there's a word video game that I'm playing that called Word Wipe that is really, I'm pretty compulsive about. And I'm also listening to lots of I don't go on Reddit, but I have been listening to a lot of YouTube videos of Reddit threads about, like, people's different weirdnesses, horror stories, glitches in the Matrix, bad weddings gone wrong, all kinds of things. Stuff that I normally wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. I'm just like absorbing a lot. So there you go. Now you know the dirty truth.
And my favorite thing that I've done is been working on an unofficial season 2 of the Living campaign for the Star Trek role-playing game. I've pumped out 3 modules for that, and I'm well underway on the 4th.
You productive bastard, you.
That's very cool.
Somebody's got to be.
I found out that they're probably not going to get around to making the second season, and the first season ended on a cliffhanger, and I have a group that meets monthly that plays the game, and they took the bait and got involved with the cliffhanger, so now I'm trying to figure out what happens so that the game doesn't just end in sadness. All right, so let's begin. Everybody has had their fellowship phase and meets happily in the spring in Sunstead.
Well, do we have to go to the funeral first or the wake?
You have to meet.
You're meeting at Sunstead first.
Yeah.
That was what was decided. Not everybody has the news about this yet.
The information, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we don't all know that we each have the news.
Yeah.
So.
I take a couple of sample horseshoes with me in case we run up against Rohan.
All right, I present Thror with this basically beautifully elven wrapped thing that's about 3/4 the length, the height of Thror. Like Thror, this is present from me to you. It is a celebration of our friendship, of your wedding, and the birth of your child.
I'm speechless, and I bow to Elebrimborn and accept his gift and unwrap it.
And I tell him that it is called Tornostring. It is a mattock. I tell him it's called a Tornostring in Elven. That means it's the hammer of kindred brothers.
I'm brought to tears. Tears fall from my eyes.
It was forged in the halls of King Elrond of Lord Elrond in Rivendell. May it serve you well. It is imbued with the magic of elves, and hopefully will serve to protect you against the shadow.
I am speechless, and I look on it in awe, and again thank Elebrimborn and tell him that he and his kindred are brothers for eternity, and that without him I would not have witnessed the birth of my child, and probably would not have been able to win the heart of Mare had it not been for his and Loris and Grimbo's efforts in our fellowship and keeping us together and keeping the shadow at bay. And I will use this to protect all of us. And thank you forever.
Wow. And I thought we already went in on baby gifts when the baby was born.
I don't remember that, but
we bought
anyway.
a bunch of appropriate baby things, and you know.
So it's a +1 Matic.
Yeah.
Nice.
+1 Matic. It does +1 to hit on your rolls, but it's not damage. It's just +1 to hit.
Great. Perfect. I will obviously probably need magic as we move forward, so thank you. Otherwise, all I get to do is burn things.
Yeah, may I hope you never have to use it.
Unfortunately, I think that is our mission in life.
Speaking of missions.
Yes, I received bad news about our friend Legolaven. She's passed on, and Galvira and her husband Hellmeyer have requested us to come and as good friends to come to awaken a celebration of her life
So I heard
up
as
at the
well.
ford of the Anduin River.
A messenger of Rivendell came to me and told me the same. I'm glad you already knew and have been able, perhaps, to take some time to grieve. I must tell you, I have some grave other news as well. I was told to keep watch, told by the elders of the council of the council of elders of the Rangers to keep watch near Roscoble on the woods and see what was happening there. And it seems that evil from what hill?
Dol Guldur. The Sorcerer Hill.
The Sorcerer, yes. That evil from Dol Guldur, the Sorcerer's Hill, is spreading down there to the point that it's affecting the waters. There are evil weeds that seem to almost delight in pulling down the fishermen there. I've helped them find a new place to operate from so that they don't lose their livelihood, but still it's a danger. And what's more, the river maidens there are being disturbed and are finding themselves imperiled. And I think that we may need to look into that. Find those
And
who
then,
would help.
yes, and while I was in Erebor, Mugrid showed up at court, and he had requested aid from King Dane, and we did send some aid to the lands as well in the form of trade with Roscoble and the Bjornings to see if they would come assist in the attacks that they are now seeing. So it appears we are being drawn into to that area again. We probably must go and investigate.
Yes.
Yes, I've heard news that King Fangold of the Rohirrim has passed away from natural causes, and his young son Thangwil had married Gondalorian, and that we must go down there because there are whispers of corruption and possible usurping this young king.
Well, hopefully the merger with Gondor will help them.
Yes, that it seems that I think I also heard that the leader of Gondor has also taken ill or has passed away.
The
So
Steward of Gondor?
I thought that's what is
This
that
is
what I heard?
You heard he
Yeah.
has taken ill to his bed and has not risen from the bed since the Sauron announced himself.
King Thurg, yeah, Thing Turgan,
Yep.
King Turgan.
This is a strange coincidence, if coincidence it be, that so many strong leaders should be struck down one way or another all at the same time. True, some of them were on in years, but the timing seems suspicious to me.
I sent word to King Dane and to King Bard of these grave news of the leaders either falling ill or falling in death.
Did you hear anything of where Elrond went? I've heard that I gave greetings to Elrond and heard that he has been gone, and no one would say where. And Radagast also has left Roscoble and been gone for 4 months or more, and no one has heard from him or knows where he went. Is it possible?
Well, I had
together?
yeah, Aristor is in charge of Rivendell at this point. I did not see Elrond when I was there, and being even amongst the elves of Rivendell, I received no word as to what Elrond's is doing, but I did receive the word from Gandalf about Legolevin's death. Through Aristor, not through Gandalf himself. So
Perhaps the Council of the Wise is working on accomplishing another great task, such as they did when we took on Gorlanc.
and that would explain why Radagast is nowhere to be found either.
Yes. No matter how much
Possibly all this presence of the shadow has brought them together to counsel with each other.
Yes. So
It is grave times.
I guess we can,
Hopefully they come up with a solution to the troubles that come before us at this time.
I don't know how they can there's so many fronts to fight on now. But I guess we can figure out what we need to do after we have traveled for the wake and the funeral.
Yes, I think we should go to the funeral, and then I would also say that Margaret does not instill a lot of confidence in me, so he may be behind some of this as well.
We should have killed him while we had the chance, but opportunity was not there.
Well,
I regret even saving him from his brother.
sometimes
Agreed.
people have a moment of awakening and see that there's change to be made. It's possible, even if it's not likely. We did what we had to do at the time. We may have to do otherwise in the future.
So you prepare yourself to go up for the first part of your journey. First part of your journey, if you follow the moving Thror icon, is you go on up to what's that? The old dwarf road to take you across Mirkwood. journey up that side of there is 180 miles by horse over very easy terrain through freelands. It's going to take you 2 days. You need to make one travel test at difficulty 12.
I'm still on a old battle map.
Same here.
I'm sorry. I thought I had everybody on. Here, let's get you back on the stuff. There you go.
I will don my elven cloak.
Nice.
3 travel rolls, yep. And
One
Elebrimborn will sing his song of travel. So you can use 2 6-sideds on 1 roll.
You can use
an extra?
Extra.
Okay.
2 extra on 1 roll.
So we're only going to do one.
Yep, you only have to make one travel roll for this part of the journey.
Okay.
So you
So I got 22.
Yeah, you make it, no problem. It's a very easy 180 miles of travel for you.
Yeah. I don't really even need that, but it gives me extra. That's fine with me.
I got a 20.
You got a 20, no problem. You travel well. Now for the hard part of the journey. The travel...
I got a...
Oh, sorry, George?
I was going to say, I got a 20, 21, and a 22. The 21 and 22s both had 2 Tengus.
Okay, you only needed one roll, so yeah, you're fine. So you reach the southern mountains of Mirkwood. The mountains descend to rolling hills and mounds, cloaked in tangled pines and mossy willows. The land grows progressively wetter as it approaches the southern marshes. Weeds and vines hang heavy from the trees. The peaks of the mountains are bald and are snow-covered. They are very treacherous. Their rocky slopes conceal many deadfalls and narrow ravines. In these lowlands, spiders prey on squirrel and orc alike. The orcs, what few there may are left in Mirkwood after the Battle of 5 Armies, stick to the old forest road that you're traveling on, and the foothills of the mountains. Spiders lurk on the road, but also string their webs between the gnarled trees. Gore crows nest in the treetops, croaking their hateful songs. And in this glorious area that you are traveling in, it's 120 miles by horse over daunting terrain through dark lands. So that's 14 days of travel. You need to make 3 travel tests. Difficulty 20.
Okay, we need you to do your song again for this one.
Can I sing again?
Yes,
Yeah.
you may.
20 for each roll?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, you're traveling through the worst part of Mirkwood, basically.
What if we lead the horses for some of the...
Doesn't matter. You're traveling. It's just as bad.
So it's only for 1 roll we get the 2 extra, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'll use it on the second roll. I'll probably wish that I had done that. Oh, I made it. I made the first roll 20 with a tango.
Nice.
Alright, the second roll I'm going to use the 2 extra dice, which is good because I rolled a 1 on my 12 sider.
I got a 19, a 20, and a 25. I used the dice on the last roll.
So on a 19, you don't make it. You take 2 points of fatigue.
Fatigue. So I got an 18, a 21, and a 24. 1 Tengu. And I forgot to use my 2 6-siders.
I got a 14 with a tango on my second roll.
Okay, if that's a failure, you take 2 points of fatigue.
Guess you can re-roll with your elven cloaks too, which I forgot to do, but
Okay. 14 on the third roll as well.
2 points of fatigue.
For each 14?
For each failure.
Okay.
Now, it says that twice a day, for every day, you're supposed to make a corruption test while traveling through this. I really have no interest in watching you make 28 rolls each. So, I'm going to say 3 corruption rolls each. Those are valor rolls.
Okay. What's the TN?
TN 14.
14. First one is no problem. I want it.
Fatigue is number down here.
Nice.
That's different for me. We went through that. I'll just put down 4 points of fatigue.
Ella Brimworm succeeded all 3 rolls.
Excellent. Your spirit is not broken by the spider-infested nightmare that you're traveling through.
I grew up here as a kid. This is like what we do.
Yeah, but it's gotten a lot worse in the last few years.
Oh, man. What happened to my neighborhood?
Alright, what am I rolling? Valor?
I have been away too long.
Oh, I forgot to switch out my wisdom. 5.
I made all my rolls.
Of course I'm
You are not afraid. You have a pneumatic.
That's right. I'm feeling magical.
You're just daring any spider to come up and strike you.
I'm elven touched.
Alright.
3 valor tests.
Yes, and I forget how I roll valor.
Valor is one of your
Garrett,
things.
it's here. I didn't ask that. I said I forget how to roll it.
You roll a 12-sided plus the amount of valor in 6-sided.
Oh, okay. That's no problem. Alright. 3.
I guess if you kill something really epic with that magic hammer, we can give it more than Tornostring to its name.
You want to fight something totally epic in the forest?
You know, like whatever, the faux hammer, that kind of thing.
You want a dragon or something to fight?
Not right now, but
My first valor roll is 16 with a tango.
That's good. You made it.
Our first major monster was a spider, wasn't it?
well,
19 with a tango for
Good
the
job.
second one.
possibly. I mean, I remember fighting the Marsh Dwellers,
Yeah.
but you think there was a spider before that? I thought the first monster was the carnival guy with the dancing bear.
I count him.
And the last one is 12 with a tango.
You fail, you gain a shadow point. The darkness of this place is getting into your spirit.
Strength of will doesn't help, huh? Wait a minute.
Damn, girl.
Strength of will does help in valor rolls, right?
No. That's wisdom.
No, that's right. Never mind.
Okay. So you gain
It's,
a shadow. You gain a sad, unfortunately.
It's against being scared by undead and crap, right?
Yes.
So, it's been a while. Where's my...
Alright, so Thror moves now through this part of the forest to the gate. And let's see what we have to do for this. You travel 60 miles by horse over severe terrain through wild lands in the spring. This takes 4 days. Everybody makes 1 travel test.
Can I sing again or no?
Sure.
All right. So I sing again to try to give everyone 2 dice.
Good, because they're all coming up once. Holy crap, that is a crappy roll for how many dice I have rolled.
You got an Iosaurons?
No.
You gotta let me know if you get those Iosaurons.
I would do that.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yep.
No tangoos.
28 with the tango.
Nice.
17. Straight up.
17's good.
Remember, if you succeed your travel rolls, you can check your skill group thing all over the right, and then you will actually get skill points.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great.
Only been playing this game for 3 years.
That's right, I forgot to... I made a persuade roll that worked. Yeah.
Yep. Now you cross across the Anduin Valley to the Anduin River, where the old ford is, which is the easiest part of your journey. Travel 30 miles by horse over easy terrain. You make one travel test at difficulty 12.
Okay. No problem.
Oh, okay, I made it. 13.
17.
22.
No problem.
The way this 4 on this 12-sider looks, it never looks like a 4.
No, it doesn't.
It scares me every time I see it. I think it's something bad, and then it's
Yep.
not. It's just...
You reach the old ford. Let me pull up the description. Old
That was a
ford.
lot of traveling.
Yeah, you covered a lot of ground. You traveled through all of Mirkwood.
Every girl's dream in
The
springtime.
Great River is changeable. While when rainstorms or snow melt feeds its tributaries, like the Rushdown, the river can quicken and become impassable, say by boat or via the stones of the old ford. The Dwarf Road crossed the river here over a stone bridge of their making. In later years, the men of the North Kingdom made it greater to hasten the passage of their armies. The bridge is gone now, leaving only a few stones worn smooth by the water, among which rest the fragments of a broken statue of a forgotten king. Until recently, the ford was a haunt of bandits and thieves who would demand payment from some travelers and rob others. Now the Bjornings guard the ford and the tolls are high, but at least no one is robbed. There's even talk of building a new bridge over the Anduin, but such a project is beyond the skills of the men of the Anduin. You reach the old ford longhouse, which seems to have been built by all different cultures. There's a longhouse type of area. There's elven architecture. There's dwarven architecture. As more space has been needed as the popularity of this place has grown. And it is still as busy today as it was when your adventuring career began. You go inside and see Gilmyra the pot stirrer at her traditional place, stirring the pot of stew in the kitchen area as her husband pours out the mead that he has made from the bee honey that he grows behind the longhouse. Gilmyra sees you, and for the first time in the history since she and her husband opened this place, she calls, "We're closing. Everybody out." And she whisks everybody out of the place, hurrying them to finish their last cups and last bowls. And within 10 minutes, the house at the old ford is completely empty, except for you and Gilmyra and her husband. And she rushes over to each of you and embraces you. I'm so glad you came. I'm so glad you could make it.
So sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yeah, your mother meant so much to us, and I mean your hospitality and love, and you're who we go out in the world to fight for, so that your children and your mother and you guys can do what you can do here to prosper. That's what I think of and reflect on every day, and it's going to be a little bit sadder every morning without knowing that I can't have scones that Legolavens made.
Oh, my kids know the recipe, and she calls them over, and they are teenagers now.
Whoa! What happened to you kids? Guys, are you sure? Are you sure that you're the kids that I knew?
Yeah, we're sure, Brimborn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time has gone by.
Yes, it is.
Just amazed. You're all so tall now.
Yeah, we
We were
cut the
right
wood
before.
for the fire.
I'm sure you can.
Yes.
Well, I want to break out this cider that we got from Bree that we got as a special gift, and share it and toast to Grandma Legolaven, the best scones of Middle Earth ever.
The best scones of Middle Earth ever.
And we I get out the special cider that we got from killing the bad dude. Yeah.
She even provides
from Alphonse
for the grandkid, for her kids to.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely wanted the grandkids to have, yeah, because that's how I roll.
Toast.
So we do a toast to the health of a fantastic woman who helped make this place that we stand right now such a success with her hard work and her love for her family.
To Legolavin.
To Legolavin.
Here, here.
She looks to Lorith to say some words.
Put some words in my mouth. Okay. I don't. Okay. Some people go through life making it easy on themselves, and some people go through life making it easier for others. Such was our friend, who overcame much and accomplished more, and who is a stalwart of this community and part of the fabric that holds this world together. And we will not forget her.
Legolavin.
To Legolavin.
Hear, hear.
She looks to Thror.
He may not be able to hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, George?
I'm sorry, I'm getting like every fifth word. I'm going to drop off real quick and come back on.
Okay.
I don't even know.
You've been pretty clear to me, Garrett, although there are points that I've lost stuff, but I understand where you're going because I just missed like one word, but it's pretty infrequent.
Okay.
Maybe you should check the connection of the mic.
Yeah, I think it's on my end because I'm all greened up and clear, and then the ping rate just goes crazy, and I go red, and it's just bouncing up and down. So it'll be fine for a minute, and then it decides to go crazy on me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very infrequent that I lose Garrett, but
Just time he needs to say some.
Elvira looks at you to make a toast. Thrower.
Oh, and I talk of Ankle-Biter's bravery and how she was able to fight off the shadow for all that time when we first met, and her bravery has instilled a courage in me that I will always hold dear to my heart, and that all of you and your children show that same courage, and it is good to see that is passed from generation to generation.
To Legelavan.
To Legelavan.
To the grandkids say, to Ankle-Biter.
To Ankle-Biter.
The kids then notice your mattock and say, that is an amazing weapon. Can we see it?
Certainly, this is a prized possession. A great warrior has crafted this for me, and I up Brimborn so that they take note and let them handle the weapon.
They have fun, and about one table breaks before Elvira reels them in with their practicing with the weapon.
How about you kids make some of your grandma's favorite scones for me? I want to see if you can duplicate grandma's recipe.
You'll never be able to taste the difference.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
I think I'll help you judge that. I asked Elvira. Are you saying how's
Elvira?
Elvira. Sorry, I asked Elvira how I gotta get a sheet with all of these names. I swear. I asked Elvira, what have you prepared for the funeral and the celebration?
The funeral was over the winter. This was just a get-together for us to have some closure and to share some memories together. I didn't feel that the mourning would appropriately end until we had this.
Well, thank you. We're glad you included us. I would like to see her gravesite.
They take you to a hill that overlooks the crossing of the old ford, and there's a tombstone there. And it says Legelavan Ankle-Biter.
She would have loved this, being such a worldly adventurer and part of the whiskey drinking bear crew for a time there, that she could see all over this area and the realm that she traveled through, because she was a true hero herself.
I pick up I find a smooth stone, and with my dagger I scratch a rune in it that means strength, and place it on her grave.
Okay. At about that time, a raven flies onto Ella Brimborn's shoulder. There is.
All right, I tried it.
There is a message tied to it. Its leg.
Well, I could just speak to the raven. Is it a raven from Erebor?
Nope. It's a raven from Mirkwood.
All right. So I take the note off and read it.
It is a note from King Thranduil. It says that the Werewolf of Mirkwood has killed several of the wayward elves in the Bower. Orifal is tracking the werewolf to its lair in the mountains of Mirkwood and requests that you and your friends come to aid in his endeavors.
So I tell everyone that the Werewolf of Mirkwood is in the Bower area, and Arifal requests our audience to help.
No, it's Thranduil is requesting that you back up Orifal.
Arifal, okay.
All right. We can leave in the morning.
Yes, please stay the night. And the kids say, "There's werewolves are real?"
Not for
We don't know, child. We've never encountered it. It could be someone that's just impersonating or using that name to scare others, just like they're scaring you. So let me taste those scones that you kids can make, and let's enjoy what Grandma created. So, and even if they're not as good as their grandmas, I tell them that it's better than their grandmas.
They taste just like the grandmothers.
All right. But I still tell them that it's better than grandmas, that they did better. They improved on it. Wow, these are great. You certainly must be related to your grandma. You kids are bakers beyond. There's some magic elven baking. There's some magic in what you're doing.
We're not elves.
Well, you got an uncle that's an elf. Your Uncle Elebrimborn.
That's true, Uncle Elebrimborn. Why don't you stay here that much?
Well, I come visit you kids now and then just to check up on you and make sure that you're doing everything and you're learning and all that. So even when you don't think I'm there, I'm here looking out for you.
The rest of the time he's busy running a pub.
You run a pub now? Is it like a long
I do.
Like ours?
I do. I was so inspired by how successful you guys are that Laura Thror and I opened a business down in Sunseed. So
where is that?
I wanted to talk to your father about possibly exchange of beverages, maybe having some mead that you guys make if you have a surplus amount, and we can exchange with Loris barley is very good barley.
Unfortunately, we barely have enough to serve all the customers that we have coming through. There's been so much trade coming back across and forth across the Anduin.
Well, that's good news. Maybe you could possibly talk to the Bjornings about getting surplus honey and continue your recipe, and we describe more about the whole concept of the pub down in Sunsteed and how we'd love to have stuff from their region of Middle Earth as well.
We can talk to Anona, the Spear Maiden, when she comes through. You remember her, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll talk to her.
And how's Petra Dribblecup doing?
Is
she still your neighbor north from here?
No, she hasn't. She not since she moved away when she got married. Remember?
Oh, for the second time?
No, the first time. When she got married the first time, she moved away. Now she was in a village a little bit north of here. Well,
that would be great if you guys could negotiate that, and we'll check in with you and make sure you learn how to make your father's mead and listen to your mother and your parents and
We're gonna play
learn well how to manage a successful business.
She goes, yes, there's a lot to learn besides making scones about running a successful business.
This is true.
And she goes, speaking as such, she opens the door and calls out, we're open again. And there's a whole long line of people coming back in.
Typical. So. Whoa.
Did we get the details on how Ankle Biter passed away?
She got ill over the winter. It was one of the coldest winters that they can ever remember, and she got sick during that and passed away. A lot of people in the valley, Anduin Valley, passed away from the cold.
That's sad.
Okay. So there's no nothing that would indicate
Foul play.
foul play. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
there's nothing. It was natural, if you can call the coldness that's been hitting us over the last few winters as natural.
All right.
So if it's late and the kids go to bed, the kids aren't around or whatever, then I ask everyone, whether they think we should go, and since King Thranduil, I feel like I'm kind of driven from what my Lord says is to investigate this werewolf thing. I know we're supposed to go down to the halls of the Rohirrim, but I feel like I must do what my Lord asked me to do. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good.
Do you believe there's such thing as a werewolf? These rumors have gone on for years.
Well, can I make a lore roll?
Yeah.
Because I believe that it's not just the lore within this game.
Summon.
But I've heard stories from before, and of course there's the old tales of Baron and Luthien. So that's 15 with a Tengu.
Yes, there have been many stories throughout history about lycanthropes.
Yeah. This isn't the first werewolf, but let's hope it's the last. I'm sure that they've grown rare, but in the time of the first Elven kingdoms, the enemy concocted many such evils to plague the kindred with. And this one I've heard tell of before, even before I met you, and I believe the tales. I have no reason to question that it's possible.
Well, I had heard before that Sauron himself was a werewolf.
He's taken many forms.
So this may be crucial to us to investigate.
Absolutely. If people are being taken, we must find out why. Maybe it will help lead us to other enemies as well. If the creature isn't acting alone. If it is indeed the creature that we seek. So
So your decision?
Yeah, I think once we have a restful night, we cheerfully thank for the hospitality and give our condolences again about the loss of Ankle Biter and head off towards the mountain of Mirkwood there.
The mountains of Mirkwood.
I would ask about Margaret and any of the other happenings in the area. Have they been pressured by any of the?
No, we are more in the area where the remainders of the Viglandings are trying to push in to the Bjornings area. They've been suffered a setback significantly, but there's still a significant number of them that refuse to give in.
Okay.
They're stubborn people.
And you have not heard of Elrond or Radagast or any of their movement?
These names are not familiar to me.
Okay. Very good. Then we will head out.
Okay. I'm only going to make you roll the for the worst of it. The 3 rolls for traveling through into the mountains of Mirkwood. So, and the 3 valor tests that you need to make.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll sing again to give you 2 dice for travel.
This is the TN20 rolls.
For both?
For both, all 3. TN20 for all 3 of these rolls.
The travel ones,
I'm
yeah.
using the 2
And don't
extra
forget
on the
you
first
have
roll.
4 fellowship points that are sitting here still.
I'm going to claim one of them for my second roll.
We should pick our fellowship. I'll pick Elebrimborn since he gifted me the beautiful medic.
All right, I'll pick Lorith.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
So that's 10. Did my fatigue heal, by the way, from the other part?
No, the fatigue does not heal until you rest a significant amount of time.
Okay.
So, 17 for the first one.
You take 2 points of fatigue.
Okay. And so I get one extra die for the next roll if I take using the momentum.
Yeah.
A regular die, not a extra 12-sider, right?
Right.
It's been a while. What game is it
I got a 23 with a Tengu, and then the next 2 rolls were Gandalf's.
Nice. You guys are amazingly lucky in your travel rolls. Not to trigger it.
No, I got a 21, a 18, and a 21.
All right, take 2 points of fatigue for the 18. And I'll make 3...
did we recover any fatigue when we stayed the night?
You recover 2 points.
Okay, so I don't have to...
2 points, great.
So, I got 20.
And then 3 valor rolls.
3 valor rolls.
Nice.
$10, $20.
Oh. I'm 1 point short on the third roll.
I got a 20 and a Tengu, a Gandalf.
Valor.
Oh.
I'm still in my travel
Okay.
rolls.
That's 2 points of fatigue.
$19 for the last one.
19 for the last one. Okay, you're fine.
What we need.
Valor rolls, I got a 24, a 20, and a 24.
TN 14.
first one.
First one is made by Laura.
I made the second one. By well. A lot. And I got a Gandalf on a third. And as well as I made it off the Gandalf as well, plus the Gandalf, so
Nice.
that's lucky because I don't need any more shadow points right now.
You travel into the woodland realm, going into the mountains of Mirkwood, through thick pine forests, cutting away so that you are about 4 days north of Thranduil's kingdom. And you hear tales from the elves that live up here that Orifal was successful, and that though he was injured in the attack, he managed to kill off the Werewolf of Mirkwood. And he is on his way back right now. And he has attracted an entourage of younger elves, most of them wayward elves, who will willingly lead you up to where he's at.
Okay.
All right, yeah, we go to meet him.
Here's a nice map I made for you to show you what the situation looks like. I didn't make it all. I just doctored up a map, actually.
Full disclosure.
Yeah. So, you would go up to there, and you would find a band of elves feasting and celebrating beneath the stars. Gleaming lamps hang from trees, and a long white cloth laden with delicious food is laid over trestle tables. The horrible hame of the werewolf hangs from a branch over the feast, and brave Orifal sits at a place of honor at the head of the table. Orifal rushes over and goes, "Ella Brimborn, you're here! You're here!"
Ah, I see you've made short work of the werewolf.
Orifal points over to here to where the werewolf sat and goes, "Yes, I climbed the mountains up high, braved many challenges, including vampires and wargs, until I came to its lair and found the foul stench within there. And there were more wargs in there guarding it, but I fought my way back to where the werewolf was cornered in its evil den, and I attacked it, and it charged at me and knocked me over and down a ravine that was inside of there, and I nearly impaled my arm on a sharp stone, and the werewolf came running down after me, but I pulled my arm out of the stone, and he uses a chicken leg that he rips off of the chicken to demonstrate using his sword of showing how he attacked the werewolf using the rest of the chicken as the werewolf to show you how he managed to take out the Werewolf of Mirkwood. And everybody celebrates and goes, "Hooray!"
Well done, well done.
Were you wounded, though?
I was. I fell. I told you. I fell from the ravine and impaled my arm on a sharp stone.
But the werewolf did not.
Would you want me to look at that for you?
I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you make a healing roll, or?
Yeah, sure. It's a quite roll.
That would be a 15 with a 10.
You do your best to set it and to get it so that it should heal up within a day. It's a pretty nasty puncture wound where you can see all the way through his arm.
I'm going to examine the wolf fell.
But can we examine his arm a little closer? Was he actually bitten?
He was not bitten. He fell down a ravine and onto a sharp stone that impaled his arm.
So he said.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
With the medicine roll, that'll confirm it.
I'm going to examine the wolf fell.
Sure. Examine the hame. Make a lore roll.
Ooh. It's a 10 on the 12-sider. 13. 15. And a Tengu. So 21 and a Tengu. 21 with a Tengu.
21 with a Tengu. It looks like a unnaturally large wolf with its hind legs strong enough and capable enough where it looks like it would be capable of walking on its hind legs. There are sharp mats on its back that almost look like plates, giving it kind of a Stegosaurus type of look as it goes down, which goes all the way down to its tail. And sure enough, there are multiple stab wounds to it, and a empty look in its eyes, which seem to be yellow.
This would make when cleaned properly, this would make a fine, fearsome cloak, my friend.
It'll be Orifal's cloak. Who else would deserve to have that?
None I can see.
More wine. And wine is poured for him. And wine is poured for all of you. And chicken and other food is laid out for you to eat.
I partake very lightly of the wine.
And Pelimater picks up a lute and begins playing a jolly jig. And he sings a song about the wayward dwarf wayward elf Feanar, who Feawellnar, who abducted the child of a lumberjack and placed him on the limb of a tree 100 feet off the ground. The child woke up as the lumberjack camp panicked when they realized the child was missing. And the child almost fell off the limb, but was rescued by a lumberjack named Godmund, who climbed the tree like an elf. The first thing the Bardings did was cut down the tree the child woke up on. And this continues with a heated discussion of Vermoons and the New Dale Lumber Company, chopping trees down beyond the borders allowed by Thranduil, and how Thranduil is not inclined to do anything about it for fear of offending his Barding allies. The one thing the Wayward Elves can agree about is this will certainly come to a head before long.
Oh, another border dispute.
Restoration of Mirkwood is upset. The Dale Lumber Companies are pushing into Mirkwood further than the easement King Thranduil signed. He has protested this by abducting the sleeping children of the lumberjacks and placing them in unusual places, like the bank of a stream, 20 foot high in a tree, etc. The Dale lumberjacks are hiring humans and dwarves to catch or kill Restoration. King Thranduil hasn't made any official statements on the situation.
Perhaps we could speak with this disgruntled elf. I'm sure everyone is disgruntled over this situation, but perhaps we could help smooth it over and find a solution.
Pelimater says the only solution is if they stop cutting down our forest.
Well, that's a solution to one problem, but it's always a problem if adults are willing to put children in danger to harm the peace of mind of their parents. That is a problem in and of itself, and it's not one I will abide.
You're a human, so you would take the side of the Bardings.
No, I'm not taking their side. I'm not taking anyone's side except the side of the children who are innocent in this. No wrath should be brought upon them for their father's misdeeds.
So what would you have us do? Pellimater says.
There are many things you could do, but this is not one of them. It will not bring a peaceful resolution, and it will not persuade them that they are wrong to do what they do. Whenever you act in anger and fear, you are helping to create more anger and fear, not less. You cannot resolve a situation that way. Ah! Get your claws out of my bum. That was a cat, by the way, that was doing that.
That was a werewolf?
I heard the sound effect. Very good Foley. Very good Foley work.
Yeah. Oh.
Mickey wants to play the werewolf.
Yeah.
We'll think on this, but I want to speak to this elf. Perhaps
he is. You will find him in the northeast of here, on the border between at the edge of the forest, where the border is between where Thranduil said that the Bardings can cut and where they cannot cut.
I think we should encourage if the Bardings need to cut for their livelihood, perhaps we could have them plant 4 trees for every tree that they cut. There are worse things, my brothers, in this world than lumberjacks and torturing the lumberjacks.
How long have these trees been alive? How long have we danced beneath their boughs? Do they deserve to be felled for the satisfaction of the Bardings?
No one is saying that. We're just saying that we need to think on and find an actual solution instead of lashing out in anger at innocence.
Suddenly, Orifal points into the darkness beyond the edge of the clearing in horror. Those eyes! You see a pair of huge glowing red eyes. Beneath them, the firelight glints off a row of wickedly sharp teeth. It cannot be, says Orifal. I killed you already. He fumbles for his sword, but is too slow. A huge shape leaps out of the darkness and bounds across the feasting table. It crashes into Orifal, sinks its teeth into his sword arm, then flings him far across the clearing to smash into the bole of a beech tree.
I'll tell you who the beast is.
Who's the beast?
This guy. He's fucking trying to get attention. Mickey, we're in the climax here.
The werewolf has returned. For an instant, as the beast stands beneath the skin hanging from the tree overhead, you clearly see that both creatures are identical. Orifal did kill the werewolf, but somehow it didn't stay dead. The elves drunkenly get up and start running, panicking, some of them tripping over their feet, some of them falling into bushes. They are not going to be of much help in this.
I pull out my bow.
You are there to stand against the Werewolf of Mirkwood. And we are 9 minutes from ending, so I will leave it there at a climax. At a cliffhanger. That's right.
Okay.
So thank you for tuning in to the Darkening of Mirkwood, Threats from Mirkwood, the company of the Whiskey Drinking Bear. I am Garrett Crow, your game master, and with me is
Mary, who plays Lorith.
And George,
who plays Thror.
Mike,
and I'm your elven scholar of Mirkwood, Brimborn, also known as Mike.
Excellent. We will see you next month as we continue continuing the adventures in Darkening of Mirkwood. Have a wonderful, safe night.
Bye for now.
Yeah, everybody stay healthy, and we'll see you on the other side of this.
Yep.